Today is December 13th. Today's quote is entitled, "Tolerate, tolerate." And we should say it 3 times because 3 is auspicious. Tolerate, tolerate, tolerate. So bodily, mental by enemies, so many impediments will come. What can be done? It's a lecture from Srila Prabhupada. We have to tolerate. That is material world. We cannot expect smooth, very happy. That is not possible. Krishna is advising Arjuna. What to speak of us? What are we in comparison to Arjuna? He's his personal friend, talking with him. He said, Tam stitikshashva bharata. Krishna never said, I made some magic, you'll have no failure, like that. Tam stitikshashva. You just try to tolerate, that's all. He never gave him any tablet. As the modern guru says, I'll give you some ash. There will be no more trouble. Krishna did so. He said, no, tolerate, that's all. Srila Prabhupada lecture, January 25th, 1977.
When you feel like the world has you down on the ground, and it's hard to face another day, when everywhere you look,
how wonderful is that? When we were young hippies, we were trying to find enlightenment in a pill. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. You don't have to do anything. And then we gave up those drugs and we came to Krishna consciousness, and many of us thought, well, once you come to Krishna consciousness, it's a red carpet, the red carpet program, the red carpet treatment, and there'll be no more problems. All the problems in the world will go away. And Prabhupada's saying, I have to realize that we still have a body, we're still in the material world, and the difference, being Krishna conscious, is that we can deal with it. Now we have the skills, the tools, so to speak, to deal with the difficulties of this world. So, as Prabhupada's saying here, and probably if you've been a devotee long enough, you have the same realization that it's not that everything's going to become perfect. It may be that Krishna is very merciful, but Prabhupada is warning us, telling us that tolerance is really an essential ingredient in bhakti. And tolerance is, as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, tolerance is our best friend in bhajan. And when we look at the world and we look at what goes on, we can realize that if we lack tolerance, our life will be replaced with frustration. Things will not always go the way they should, the way we want. It's just amazing that things go on in the material world the way they do. Life is so complicated. And we have to be extremely tolerant. Otherwise, we'll be very frustrated. We'll start to go crazy. We become angry. And all of that is not good for our bhakti. And we also need to be, as Krishna said, be friendly to all living entities. And so without tolerance, how will we be friendly to all living entities? Because all living entities do things one time or another that are upsetting, isn't it? Well, maybe all living entities except your dog. Maybe your dog doesn't. But you know what I mean, is that people are people. People are difficult sometimes to deal with. So tolerance is so valuable in our spiritual lives, so important, so much needed. Now, another thing to consider, very important point, is that tolerance is really the essence of humility. Because what we find is that people who are not humble tend to be more intolerant because they expect others and the world to who just operate the way they think they should operate. Now, why did you take so long to do that? I needed you to do this. You didn't do it perfectly. I'm so upset with you. Have you noticed that? So meditate on this idea that tolerance is the essence of humility. Without humility, we won't be tolerant. Without the humility of being able to accept the way things are, the way people are, it'll be very difficult to be tolerant. So, nice little exercise that we do in our humility workshop, which I'll offer you now. You can consider this. It doesn't take much time. Just think about all the things you've complained about in the last month. You don't have to write it down. You probably can remember, and you're probably aware that we tend to complain a lot. I'll leave you with that thought. Just think about that thought, that we complain a lot. What does that mean? That we complain about a lot of things, and that we complain about a lot of little things. What does that mean? We're devotees, and we're complaining about little things. Tam tatikshasva bharata. I'm not talking about tolerating having to kill my relatives. I'm talking about tolerating little things like traffic, weather, spicy food, a long line at the grocery store. Yeah. Think about all the things that you complain about, and just think about it, and realizations will come by realizing that we do complain a lot. And it's not really befitting what Krishna consciousness is all about.